Okay, this will be our first video lecture of the rest of the year. This is how I'm going to primarily give you instruction going forward. Well, taking the place of our class stuff. I'm going to give you instruction in lots of other ways because online learning kind of lends itself to all kinds of different techniques. So the drawback is you won't get to talk to me face to face much. I'll try to set that up if we need to. It's all kind of early days on this. I'm learning how to use Zoom, stuff like that. But I want to remind everybody that my actual cell phone number is in the syllabus. Um, if you really need to get in touch with me in these strange times, feel free to use that. Um, I want to emphasize a few things going forward, that almost everything will be due on Monday, and primarily we will have um, discussion questions and short essays due on Monday. I will get my video lecture up early in the week, hopefully on Monday, but very shortly after that, if so. And then, you'll have a week to complete whatever needs to be done for that week, which will be due on the following Monday. It's kind of the rhythm I want us to get into. We're working on our Rogerian argument paper. We'll continue working on that. I'm going to throw some stuff in the supplemental materials tab very soon. I'm going to give you guys an example of that, like I did with the rhetorical analysis, our Martin Luther King paper. I'm working on grading those as we speak, and I will be trying to get in touch with students who are falling behind. So if that's you and you're looking at this, please be sure and get in touch with me. And I'll be trying to get in touch with you. So we have a number of ways we can do that, obviously. The most direct way is through my phone, but you can also use email and course messages. I'll be checking those constantly so that we can keep track of one another. But I want to be available to you, and if you're falling behind and you need some work getting stuff caught up, it's not too late. We still have enough time left, but we need to get on that now if we're going to do some remedial stuff. So a couple things I want to emphasize about our Rogerian argument. The most important thing is that it is a Rogerian argument. Right? A Rogerian argument has a structure to it. There are three parts. You have the presentation of one side of a point of view, the presentation of another side of a point of view. So you have for and against, and pretty much you can formulate a lot of issues into this: advocates for, advocates against, proponents of, opponents of. There's one side and another, and they oppose one another. But when you're writing this, you want to remain objective. Your job is not to advocate for one side or the other. Your job is to simply present these points of view objectively, giving respect to the people who hold these points of view. Now, you will probably fall on one side or the other of the argument that you do. We're going to be picking things that are by their very nature polarizing. We're going to avoid abortion as a topic because when I can't see you face to face and work with you on this, it's one of the most difficult ones to do because we feel so strongly about it. If we do have an opinion on this subject, and because we feel so strongly, we're unable to be objective, and then that's one of the most important aspects of this. So we have a for and against, and then where your opinion comes in, where your work should be done in terms of creativity, right? Now, our first two parts, the for and against, are almost miniature research papers, and we're going to tackle them that way. And then the third part, which is your conclusion of a Rogerian argument, is your ideas about what a compromise position might be. And that compromise position rests upon common ground. What does each side want to happen? What do good people on each side want to happen? So in the gun control debate, and I'm going to be using that a lot as our model, in the gun control debate, one of the things that, common ground can be found. Nobody wants kids to get shot with guns, right? Nobody who is for gun control wants that to happen. And no one who is against gun control wants that to happen. there are a lot of creative compromises that could be suggested that would rest on that common ground. Things like the technology exists to put some kind of device in a gun that reads your fingerprint, just like your iPhone can read your fingerprint. Goodness, you could do it with face recognition if you really wanted to get fancy, right? You could build a gun that would only shoot when the owner of that gun is holding it. That can be done, which would be a compromise, right? The people who are for gun control would have to give up on just banning weapons, banning guns outright. And the people who are um, against gun control would give up on just guns being a free-for-all where anybody can pick up any gun and shoot it, right? But the common ground is where we try to forge that willingness to compromise in these controversial things. Um, and so your attitude, your tone in this paper must be one of respect for both sides, seeking common ground, finding a compromise. That's the job going forward. Um, your discussion question was about stereotyping, right? This is what you must avoid. It's very easy in controversial issues and polarizing issues to stereotype the side that you don't agree with. And we do it all the time. It's just a human thing. But one of the more difficult aspects of the Rogerian argument is avoiding those stereotypes. Instead of saying that everyone who wants gun control is a soy-eating hippie smoking pot in basement saying, groovy man, let's all be peaceful, no more guns, peace. Right? Well, that person exists. I know some of them, right? But you cannot deal with the topic posing that advocate for gun control as that kind of person. You have to imagine, instead of a stereotype, someone who is reasonable, someone who is not just on the fringes, right? Someone who has good ideas about why they think guns should be controlled. And on the opposite side, we can't say that everyone who is against gun control is they're going to take our guns. I want to shoot you if you try to take my gun away from me. Right? Those people exist, right? I know some of them, but that's not the majority of people. And we have to think about what would a reasonable person say. Self-defense. There are all kinds of. We spoke about some of this in class before the coronavirus wiped us out. So that's the goal for a Rogerian argument, and we will try to piece this thing together going forward. Please notice that you do have an assignment for Monday, right? You have your discussion question and a short essay. I call it a minor essay. Major essays are the big grade part, 70% of the grade. Minor essays are 30% of the grade. You should really probably say a short essay. I may not change that because, oh my gosh, my cat. If I get attacked by a cat or something goes crazy, I'm not going to edit and redo this whole thing. But that could happen. We'll just struggle forward. So this is what we're going to be doing going forward. Please get in touch with me if you need to. So that's that. I will throw another video like this up. It'll probably be longer than this one on early next week, hopefully by Monday, and we will roll on to the rest of the semester. Stay safe. Don't get sick.